Hello and welcome to another development log of Project Third Eye. Today we're going to look at the new guns in the game, the new gun system, and the new stabbing system that has been entirely reworked. So the new knife physics works a lot smoother now. Then I changed a few things on the blood settings and a few tweaks on the taser. And then of course there are two new mod maps that I want to show you, just so you know that modding is a thing now, but only for PCVR. Okay, now, without further ado, let's jump right into it, and we start with the handguns that I already showed in the last development log. Now you can grab the magazines from the left hip, just like in the old system for the guns. I basically converted all the guns from the old system into the new one. Took a little bit of time, but now I can set up guns very easily. Takes around 15 minutes. And as you can see, we can now grab the slide of this handgun in two different ways. That has been requested a lot. So that's what I did. Perfect. That's the handgun I already showed in the last development log. Then we have the FAMAS, or what it is. Also, of course, with the physical recharging handle, which is going to be the physical magazine insertion. That's what I meant. Of course, yeah, just the thing that I already showed in the last development log. Perfect. I don't think that this shotgun was already set up in the last development log, so let me show you how this works. You get the bullets from your magazine slot and can insert them right into this thing right there. Reload, and let's test the shotgun on Mila. Let's go into slow-mo to see how the impact is going to affect her. Yeah, that was a lot of bullet impact, and as you can see, the recoil is so high we can even jump with it. And as you might have noticed, we got new bullet holes for the case. They look, I think, a lot better now. That's how they look like. They tend to buck a little bit, as you can see. When I hover the hand over the bullet hole, you can see that it is projected onto the hand. These are decay renderers, so they just project anything in a range onto the mesh. That's why it sometimes looks a little bit off, but I think it looks better than whatever it was before. Okay, that's the shotgun. One more time, load up a bullet. So we have the bullet. Hello. Perfect. That's the shotgun. I think I already showed all the other things in some development log, but I have not shown this revolver. And I tried to make this revolver as physically accurate as possible. And this is the result. As you can see, when I slowly start to pull the trigger, the drum starts to rotate as the hammer goes back. And if I pull the trigger just a little bit too much, the hammer snaps back and the drum rolls into the next position. So as you may be or maybe not be able to see how the drum rolls to the next bullet slot on the drum. And of course we can also open it with the secondary button. The drum is completely physical. As you can see, we can rotate it just as you would expect. And of course we can grab a bullet from the magazine slot on the inventory and insert it into the gun. Perfect. And we can physically close it down, or we could just use the inertia and let it snap back into the gun. Perfect. So now we could either press the trigger and let the hammer hit onto the bullet, or we could get an empty slot. That's always an option. Then of course nothing happens. But we could also just pull back the recharging handle, just like this. And now as you can see, the hammer is cocked back and snaps back once we push the trigger. Perfect. And when we open the drum, the bullets just fly out of the drum and we can insert it one more time. Perfect. I think it turned out really well. Other than that, I don't think there's any more to say about this. Yeah, so we got a new cool revolver. Then we finally move on to the stabbing mechanic that has been completely reworked. This is the short sword, or whatever it is called. And this is my test sphere right here. And now let's push it into the test sphere. You can see that there is some blood going on once I push it into the sphere. And just let me check if I can actually see it on the screen. But yes, that looks fine. So now there are some other things going on here, and to showcase this a little bit better, I'm going to use the long sword. Okay, I push it just a little bit into the test sphere. And now if I push onto the sword, you can see that it starts to swing just a little bit. And that's because the rotation constraint is not that strong when it's penetrated into the object just a little bit. But the further I push it into the object, the stronger the rotation constraint gets. So let me push it right in there. And as you can see now, it's very stiff, you can almost not move it. And of course the linear friction is also proportional to the penetration depth. So if it's just penetrated a little bit, you can move it relatively smoothly, but the further you push it in there, and then it gets really stiff and harder to move. Okay, that's it. Let's test it on an NPC and see how it goes. This one is already dead, so don't expect too much from it. I'm not sure. At the moment, it has no impulse, no minimum or maximum impulse, so it penetrates right away. Let me show you what I mean by that. Can you see that? So it has a lot of penetrations going on when I just rip or slice over her body. So this is not just a slice, this is, I don't know, 20 penetrations that are being spawned when I do that. So I probably need some kind of mechanism that detects the impulse, because if we don't have the impulse, I think this is going to be way too laggy on Quest. Yeah. But other than that, it works really well. We have some blood spawn, and the whole penetration mechanics works really smooth. Let's test it on an NPC that is not already dead, just for some extra cruelty. And I've also set up a new sword. It's relatively heavy, as you can see, it swings around. And yeah.
No more playing nice.
I think now we provoke her to a fight. So let's stab her just really quick. Oops, that didn't work. That didn't work. Finally. That took a little bit too long. Perfect. Yeah, is there anything else to say? I think I should show you the multi-penetration that's also working right now. So we cannot only penetrate one rigid body, we can penetrate multiples. To showcase this, I set up these little balls right here. Can I reach it? No. And then we have multiple penetrations going on this one sword. Yeah, let's try to get rid of them. Perfect. Yeah, that's it basically for the stabbing mechanism. Very cool. Yeah, one more thing I want to talk about is this taser right here. So in previous versions, the taser was basically one shot and that's it. But now, if it doesn't hit something, the projectile will be despawned. But if it actually hits something, yeah, you can keep the connection. And if you pull too hard, the connection just rips off and the projectile will be despawned. And yeah, oh Jesus Christ, that was way too intense. Okay, so you can have multiple shots right now, and multiple projectiles hitting an object that are then connected to this taser. And if you want to get rid of them, you have to rip them off, which is hard if you have multiple connections, or you have to despawn the object, which is not possible because this is not a proper game object, or you can just put it in the inventory and then it's gone. Yeah, that's how it works basically. And for some reason, these objects tend to freak out. I don't know why they do this, but I think there must be some kind of weird joint connection going on sometimes. I will have to look into that. But all I wanted to show is that the taser now is multi-shot. Perfect! Is there anything else to talk about? I think yes, and this is the modding feature from PCVR. There has been a lot of requests for this, and here you can have mod maps now. So you go into the maps tab in the menu, and then you just select the last option right here, which is mods. And then we have some mods already going on. For example, we have Burger Pete's. Let's check this map out really quick. This is Burger Pete's. It's a mod that I made yesterday, really quick. Yeah, and then we could spawn any kind of vehicle. Let's go for the F1 car. And drive around in this new mod map. And we can also actually enter the Burger Pete's or whatever it is. Okay, perfect. Park the F1 car, and now let's go into the shop. We're in the Burger Pete's. Right, and then there's another map, but on that other map, I'm not quite sure if the game is going to break. That might happen. And this map is called PTE Construct. This is a map from Gary's mod, and I think the game just crashed. Perfect. Now follow the development of Project Third Eye.